Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Carroll, the media guy, inviting you to check out and download the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
I'm the attorney, Rob Herking. Why does Dan always get to go first?
Rob, we've done it this way from the beginning, and it's working. I'm Jason Kiefer, the firefighter. I keep track of the One More and I'm Out of Here downloads, and just want to say thank you.
Yeah, we've had downloads all over the United States and the world. Japan, Spain, Russia, the Middle East.
As usual, Dan, you're a little late to the party called the Internet. One More and I'm Out of Here is available on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, and other platforms.
From pro athletes to porn stars to just some guys from the neighborhood, we're talking about what you're talking about. And
drinking beer.
Well, that aged like a fine wine. I don't know what to say about that. I'm Jason Kiefer. It's a legal shift. We're going to talk about all the roster cuts in the NFL. Seems like a lot of people, they don't have to go home, but they can't stay here. And then it's compensation day for CeeDee Lamb. He got paid big time. Good thing. Everyone's super happy about it on Cowboys social media. That's not driving me nuts as someone who gets paid to save people's lives for a living. And the best I get told on my payday is try not to fuck it up next time. Also, Bud Light wants you to forget Dylan Mulvaney, but a legal shift remembers. Meanwhile, billionaires have given themselves raises, but can you blame them in a Biden economy? Soccer, girls are playing it, and they're trying to make it interesting by fighting. Also, Ohio State, try and have a football team this year. They're doing all this stuff. Speaking of the Cowboys, though, Trey Lance, what the fuck, man? It's pretty bad. Also, some other stuff that we're going to talk about, mostly firefighter things that I didn't let Keith know about. Keith, with your permission, we'll start the actual show.
Let's do it. That scared me a little bit. I thought I hit the wrong button, but
you didn't hit any button. Here we
I
go.
know. My computer just went different. I was like, ooh, what's happening here? Oh, John played a trick on me.
I did it to destroy your mind.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the
Giving them business down there. That's a 15-yard penalty.
There was no foul on the play. It was not a hold. The defender was just overpowered.
Illegal shift on the kicking team. That penalty is refused. First down.
Guns up, giddy up, Wolfpack. It's failure to stop's illegal shift. It's the #1 show that you're not listening to, according to our statistics. But you know what? It's probably my favorite show on the network. And I don't just say that because I really, really, really like myself. I do have a healthy ego. Joining me, as always, is your firefighting lieutenant in love. The guy who knows how to heat things up and then cool them down with a layer of argon that will snuff out any fire, chemically speaking, taking the fuel out of any relationship. Jason Kiefer from the Buckeye State. How are you doing, Keith?
What's up, brother? I love the surprises I get every Wednesday. I love it.
What, the surprises? You mean like the intro that I promised to make for you over a year and a half ago? I finally delivered on. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Was that what? Because you had asked for there to be a version where like the three of you are talking, and then it never got used, did it?
I never got a finished product.
I think I sent you a finished product, but it was too large for you to use. Like you said, StreamYard couldn't upload it or something. And then, but then I was like, why would I compress your stuff? Well, you just compress it, but I don't think you ever compressed it.
Yeah, that could be very true.
You use Handbrake.
A lot's happened since then.
Do you? Yeah, no kidding. When I threw that on there, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I don't think he ever uses this, or like I still have it. So I'm like, well, I'll throw it on there. Plus, we simulcast now on One More I'm Out of Here. So that will, first of all, it will, be a good, brand synergy with One More I'm Out of Here, but it will also excite and delight people to make people think that Dan and Rob are back. What the truth is that both of them have passed away onto other things, whether it's medical recovery or I don't know what the hell Dan does. Isn't he like working secret media operations for the Democratic National Committee or something?
That's exactly what he's doing.
Like a mole this whole time. I don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. You're probably not even allowed to say where he's at, are you?
Potential job opportunities.
Okay, so,
and that's all
I don't know what that means. Is he like gonna like if the next 9/11 happens, is he gonna like disappear for 2 years, and you just have no idea where he is, or
he's underground?
He's going completely underground. Dan, as a young person would say, we consider you very sus. You're very sus to me.
Sus.
I want to acknowledge people in the chats. Jill Billy here, of a human being with feelings that I often hurt. Sorry about that. Kiefer's also here in the chats. Good to see you. 530. Glad that you're here. I'm real. Tyler S. never misses anything that I ever do. He's constantly here. And others. I don't know who else is here. There's probably other people watching that aren't chatting. We appreciate everybody here at Failure to Stop who's watching. Members only on Failure to Stop. And then to the rest of the world on One More Matter here. This for algorithm reasons. We do this because Eric's channel is about police issues and breakdowns. And it's mostly it's about Eric is what it's about. It's the Eric channel. So that when we pop up randomly, YouTube's like, I don't know what the fuck to do with this. And then it doesn't show it to many people. Whereas when we go over to Keith's channel, it knows who to show it to because Kiefer's here. So it makes more sense. So that's the reason why we are doing that, in case you wondered why we changed it a few weeks ago. Kiefer, do you mind if I go ahead and pay some bills? Unless you want to do it. I always just kind of jump in there and just kind of, I don't know.
I think you should pay the bills, bud.
All right. Show, folks, as you show. God, I'm bad at this. Sorry, Ghostbed. You deserve better. Go to ghostbed.com. Use the offer code Wolfpack to save 40% on everything that you find on the website. What can they find on the website, Keith? Everything that you need.
Sheets, mattresses, airframes, sheets, cooling technology. You get hot at night, Keith? You must, because you're firemen. That's it. That's exactly
you got those cum gutter abs. It's just constantly. Anyway,
one big ab,
one big abdominal muscle that works like a gizzard. You could eat a mouth. You could eat a thing of glass. It just poops sand. Anyway, go to ghostbed.com. Use the offer code Wolfpack. You can sleep so good that it's scary. They support first responders. They support veterans. And you know what? They also support regular people who do regular jobs. You can get support while you're sleeping at night because every single person deserves to go to bed. Get an 8-hour free trial of death and be restored to life. Ready to go, rip roar, and ready to be alive again. And Ghostbed makes that easy for you. Not only are they the best mattresses in the world designed to give you good, restorative, long sleep. You're not going to be tossing and turning and waking up. But they can also make it easy for you to buy. 0% down, 0% financing. Even if you're fucking Antonio Brown, you can go in there and you can get a Ghostbed. They're not going to turn away Antonio Brown. They're not going to turn away you. I mean, you could literally attack a guy who's running a garbage truck at ghostbed.com. You're like, you know what? We're gonna hook you up with some good sleep. So go in there, use the offer code Wolfpack. That's how they know that you're watching us. And then they take that information. They say, well, Failure to Stop is a good place to invest our money. We're going to keep giving it to Tansy and the old gang. And that will protect John from being a slave. Because if I do work for free, that means I'm a slave. So I'm already in a position where I'm not free to leave. So if we make it so that I am not paid, that will be bad. I also wanted to thank Factor Meals. They've been getting me through all summer on delicious, ready-to-heat, fresh food. They drop it off. You go to the website for Factor Meals. You sign up for what your meal plan would like to be. How many meals a week would you like to be delivered? What would you like those to be? What kind of things are you interested in? You like a zesty cilantro Mexican foods like pollo and all this. You could get that, and brown rice and fajita vegetables and all this. Very good. It's just like having someone who cares for you. It has perfectly replicated the experience of having a mother or some kind of loved one in my life. And now, because I have Factor Meals, I am no longer searching for love because the functional part that I'm missing in my life, meal prep, is taken care of. And you can use it to kind of program your week, and if you have goals for changing your body composition, this can help you with that. There's a calorie conscious plan, a carb plan, high protein plan, vegetarian plan if that's your thing. And even if you forget to select your meals for the week, Factor Meals knows exactly what you already like, and they'll send that to you. And you can download their app and you can pre-plan all that stuff. So I appreciate Factor Meals because they just make life a lot easier. They bring fresh, never frozen food directly to your house, reverse trick or treat style. Use the offer code Wolfpack50. They'll give you half off to start. And then they'll know, as I said, the same case with Ghostbed, that they should keep investing with us, which keeps me going. Keith, teams have cut down their rosters to just 53 men. And there's been some notable cuts. I wanted to go through this with you. I did send you some links this week in order to save our failing relationship. I guess the biggest name that I saw that got cut was Kadarius Toney from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
He had a 2-year stint there, but he had do you remember that infamous offsides lineup where Patrick Mahomes throws a bomb and saves the game, and then after it's all over, because the NFL has to fix things, the refs blew the whistle after the fact. They're like, yeah, that play didn't count. And it was Kadarius Toney and Patrick Mahomes went insane. Do you remember that?
Oh, offsides bigger than shit.
He was offsides, which, you never want to see from someone who's like supposed to be a professional. But he also had a lot of drops, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't super consistent. I mean, he had some great plays, but that's going to haunt him. That play there is going to haunt him.
I honestly think cutting him was a PR move for the Chiefs. Like, you guys remember this guy? Well, we're cutting him, which is funny because like his career definitely had some ups and downs. I remember when he was just coming to the Chiefs 2 years ago, real big threat. He had been with the Giants before that. I hated playing him when he was with the Giants because he did a great job. But luckily, he pooped the bed. So he's all done with the Giants. He's all done with the Chiefs. But he will wind up somewhere. I think that there's probably places where the Chiefs cut him, and he's not good enough for a Super Bowl winning team. But he is good enough for the Los Angeles Chargers. He is good enough for the New York Jets. He's good enough for Jacksonville. So he'll land on his feet. I'm sure his agent probably already has some offers lined up where even if he's not a starting wide receiver, he'll find some place to go. But I thought that was fairly shocking.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and read this from NBC5 Chicago. There was a lot of articles that were covering who got cut from NFL teams. In fact, there was one that just covered named every single player, where it's like, hey, Steve Hutchinson, this walk-on for like the Chicago Bears who had been working for Novak waste removal in January. He got cut. And you're just like, well, I don't care about that guy. Good luck, Steve Hutchinson.
He always had to leave practice to go pick up his children.
He did, and he also had to be in bed very early to do garbage collection, and then doing 2-a-days out there at Soldier. So anyway, countless big names just hit the open market in the NFL. So it's almost where they're trying to sell it like it's free agency part 2.
Right. Exactly.
It's exciting. It's not the death of so many people's dreams. It's an employment opportunity. Who runs the media around here? It's Joe Biden. It's like, yeah, this isn't unemployment. This is exciting free agency. The roster cut deadline for all teams to hit 53 players was set for Tuesday at 4 p.m. Dangling like a sword over the throats of many marginal NFL players. Clubs made their decisions well known in advance, while others wanted to wait until the final moments. But they literally walked over to the workout room and then posted a list for the players to gather around and read and feel sad about. The New England Patriots concluded early, moving on from quarterback. I think that was Bailey Zappi, who used to compete with Mac Jones while cutting a second-year kicker. Elsewhere, the Kansas City Chiefs released Kadarius Toney, as I mentioned. And then Cardinals, they released quarterback Desmond Ridder. Ridder was one of the few highlights from a rather barren quarterback class of 2022, but the former Atlanta Falcons man did not pan out in his new home either.
Former Cincinnati Bearcat.
Yeah, if you are at the Atlanta Falcons and it doesn't work out for you there, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work out for you anywhere. And I could see why the Cardinals would be like, well, you're our class of guy, but then, it still didn't work out.
Well, I pulled up their depth chart, and I don't know how accurate it is, but obviously you've got your starter Kyler Murray, but then
the idea that I saw him giving an interview this past week saying that he had matured and that he was going to do a great job this year.
He's not going to play PlayStation for 7 hours a day and not read his playbook.
Who are you kidding? Anyway, keep going.
But their backup, I don't even know who this guy is. Clayton Tune.
Never heard of him. You're telling me Desmond Ridder got cut for him?
I had to look it up because I had no idea.
Steve Hutchinson from Novak Sanitation is going to be the backup quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. And the thing is, when he got cut by the Bears, he was playing tight end, so whatever. Anyway, poor Desmond Ridder. Dreams have come to an end. Their quarterback will probably go down at some point, and he'll get shifted around. Like even Mark Sanchez found his way with various teams. He wound up on the Cowboys, and Who else? There was somebody else recently that was. Carson Wentz backing up the Chiefs. So he was out for a year and he came back. So there's always some hope. Desmond Ridder might find a future in football, of course. There's always the XFL, USFL combined thing. But if not that, he can just rely on his degree in contemporary dance, and I'm sure he'll get a good job somewhere. So good luck to Desmond Ridder. We wish you best dance. We wish you the best of all luck in all your future endeavors. Malik Willis, another signal caller from Ritter's class, was traded to Green Bay Packers from the Tennessee Titans on Monday. Well, that's nice to know that Malik is still technically with the team. I would have guessed he was out of a job. I guess he's backing up Jordan Love now. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, Denver Broncos. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix won't have a lengthy receiver by his side. Denver cut 6'4" Tim Patrick. As a 30-year-old won't get to suit up for the Broncos anymore following 2 straight years of season-ending injuries before the regular season got underway. Uh-oh. Boy, that sucks. Fuck, man.
That makes you very marketable, doesn't it?
Can you believe you had 2 years of season-ending injuries before the regular season, and then you get to this point of this season where you think, my God, I might actually get to play this year.
I'm going to be there. Yes.
And then because they could cut you way before this. I'm sure they saw that Tim Patrick, man, sorry, man, you're 30. You've had 2 painful years of injuries. It's over, man. They could have told him this back in April. They could have said, you should probably, go to Indeed.com right now. Why make him wait until the absolute last phase of cuts? I don't think that was very classy, Denver. You know what else? I don't know much about it. Maybe they set him up with something, or I don't know. Hopefully something good happens for him. So hopefully it's not just his dreams are over.
I mean, if you figure it, he's 30 years old. He's had 2 season-ending injuries before the season starts. I think his NFL career is over.
Yeah. If he should, it says here that he's been with Denver since 2018, but should have a market elsewhere if he could prove he could stay healthy. Yeah, I mean, wide receiver.
He's not young.
There's always a chance he'll be picked up somewhere. Quarterback Bailey Zappi and kicker Chad Ryland, New England Patriots. New England moved on from Bailey Zappi, who used to rotate with now Jacksonville quarterback Mac Jones. I didn't know that Mac Jones went to Jacksonville. What happened there? Who's the starting quarterback for the Patriots then?
So it's funny because
how come I don't know this stuff?
I completely forgot that he did. I saw it and then forgot about it. We did our fantasy football draft the other day, and I
didn't get invited to that. I don't know why I'm not in your league.
I don't know either, John.
Is it because you didn't think of me? Because that's actually worse.
It's full. It's been full. Oh,
what do you mean
full? Drake May.
What do you mean full?
There's no openings, John. It's a 12. It's a 12-man league.
Okay, well,
spots are
nice to know I don't even meet your top 12. You know what's funny about Jacoby Brissett? I can remember when Tom Brady was out for the Deflategate suspension. Mm-hmm. Jacoby Brissett went in there and balled out. He was awesome. That's what set up Jacoby Brissett to have an NFL career. And Jacoby Brissett has played for more NFL teams that even actually exist. He's played for over 66 NFL teams. He's played with so many teams. But that's awesome to see Jacoby Brissett kind of back from the club that gave him a career. Who'd you say his backup was?
Drake May, which I always forget about him too.
So we kind of know that Drake May's the future there, but Jacoby Brissett the starter. I didn't know that Mac Jones had got sent packing out of Foxborough, but that's good because he was a disaster for them, and he was sort of choosing to draft him was sort of the thing that destroyed Bill Belichick. That's how bad Mac Jones was, is that you could take the greatest football coach, general manager in modern football history, and if you select Mac Jones, it will destroy your career. So
Back in March.
See, I somehow missed it. I feel so stupid because that's obviously not news. That's old, but I never knew. Anyway, they also let Ryland go. He was a 2023 4th round pick. So it's funny that he was a drafted kicker and he's already cut loose. They let him go for converting only on 16 of 25 field goals. Here's the thing about kickers. You're going to stay in this pool of available kickers, and if someone pulls a groin, your phone's going to ring. So don't worry about him. He'll probably get picked up with somebody. I mean, I remember Kai Forbath. That guy kicked forever. Sebastian Janikowski. There's certain kickers that just won't go away, so he'll be back. Wide receiver Noah Brown, Houston Texans. He used to play tight end for the Cowboys, actually. I didn't mind Noah Brown. So I'm kind of sad that he got cut because it could mean his dreams are over. Houston ended up with a logjam at wide receiver, so Brown was one of the cuts to trim it. 28-year-old was a Texan for just one season, catching 33 passes and 567 yards. How many Pro Bowls, Keith? 0 Pro Bowls. He played 5 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, so he should be a veteran option for other teams on the market. Cowboys like to bring people back just for sentimental reasons, so maybe we'll see Noah Brown back with the Cowboys. Vikings parted ways with safety Lewis Klein. Tennessee Titans cut corner Caleb Farley. Green Bay Packers cut kicker Anders Carlson. New York Giants cut wide receiver Allen Robinson. That was kind of a big one, I thought. Robinson, a former 1,000-yard receiver in 3 seasons, was cut by the Giants before he suited up for an official game. 31-year-old has played for 3 different teams for the last 3 seasons. Could increase to 4 should he sign someone elsewhere at some point. I think he'll also get picked up.
Yeah, I think he'll get on the team.
Running back Matt Breida, which is amazing because I know his name mostly from fantasy. He was a good running back for San Francisco 49ers. It always has to hurt, after you go to the Super Bowl and then lose, and then you don't get a chance to compete with your former team. Head coach Kyle Shanahan loves his running backs, so Breida's comeback attempt in the Bay Area was cut short. 49ers, where Breida once played for 3 seasons, will instead be led by Christian McCaffrey. It is no surprise that if Christian McCaffrey is a running back there, that you are probably going to be cut. Jordan Mason and rookie Isaac Grundo with Elijah Mitchell placed on season-ending reserve. So that's the big moves around the NFL. Anybody get cut by the Bengals, Keith, that you're kind of sad about or mad about or anything else like that?
Not yet. I mean, we had a bunch of second teamers that we weren't sure whether they were going to actually make the squad or not. But there was no groundbreaking Bengal news.
Okay,
which I'm okay with. No news is good news.
No news, good news. There's big news for the Cowboys, though. CeeDee's getting paid. As I said, everybody's happy about it. You know what's just, I thought, absolutely tasteless, and I don't get this because maybe I just don't understand the NFL culture because I'm not your typical NFL fan. But I'm on social media, and it shows a picture of CeeDee Lamb literally throwing money into the air. Literal cash dollar bills. And everyone's like saying, congratulations, man. And like, you should be happy for someone's success. I don't believe in the liberal lie that you should be envious of the wealthy. I don't believe in that. But literally throwing cash around, like in an era in which we have like many homeless people and many people are struggling to buy their groceries, like, and the one thing that we can kind of use to distract ourselves from all the horrors is sports. And we have this guy who's already, halfway to Mr. T with all his gold chains and all this, and he's throwing all this money around. I thought it was a tasteless move, but what do I know about taste? I don't know. But this from Fox Sports, or excuse me, ESPN Sports, the Excellence of Sports Production something network. Sources: Cowboys CeeDee Lamb agrees to a 4-year, $136 million deal. I believe this makes him the second highest paid non-quarterback player in the NFL. From Frisco, Texas, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has ended his holdout and has agreed to a 4-year, $136 million deal that makes him a player that will go play next week, having played in none of the preseason games. 0 chance that he'll get injured or anything. Great idea, guys. Well done. Anyway, yes, second highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Deal includes $38 million signing bonus, the largest ever given to a wide receiver, and a $100 million guarantee. Lamb was set to play the 2024 season on the $17.9 million 5th-year option. Oh, what? Those are chump numbers. $17.9 million. Keith, would you even do anything for 17.9? I wouldn't even get out of bed for 17.9 million.
Yeah, I don't roll out of bed for less than
to be a superstar athlete. It's just that's poverty numbers right there. He became a free agent after the season, but the Cowboys were able to lock him up through the 2028 season with the new deal, so that's good. And I bet he won't drop a single ball this season. When that happens, every single time he drops a pass this year, Keith, call me because I will hold the phone to my stomach and you will hear the ulcer forming. You will just hear boiling acid, and it won't be good. The Minnesota Vikings Justin Jefferson tops the market at $35 million a season. The Philadelphia Eagles AJ Brown checks in at $32 million a year. And The Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown at $30 million, and Tyreek Hill at $30 million. I'm surprised Tyreek Hill is still way up there. The deal makes Lamb the highest paid wide receiver in Dallas Cowboys history. In 2020, Amari Cooper signed a 5-year, $100 million deal, $40 million fully guaranteed. 2015, Dez Bryant, God rest his zombie bones. I miss Dez Bryant. I never appreciated him when I had the chance. I did watch him play in real life. Should have appreciated him more.
Should have appreciated it.
Signed a 5-year, $70 million deal with $45 million guaranteed. By missing the training camp at 3 preseason games, Lamb could be fined more than $3 million. Oh no!
Oh geez! Oh, the travesty.
When he goes with his wheelbarrow to pick up his money, the wind's gonna blow away more than $3 million.
So the Bengals will be probably dealing with this, situation like this. Jamar Chase actually did participate in practice for the first time. Was it yesterday or day before or Friday? But he's got, so what I don't understand, he's got 2 years left on his contract, but he wants to cement a long-term deal now.
Well, that people want financial security, Keith. You can understand that. And you can also understand people wanting $130 million.
And him and Jefferson are super close. They were teammates and then really good friends. So I'm sure that when Jefferson got paid, Jamar Chase said, well, you're going to pay me too. But it's weird, like with him having 2 years left, but he actually did participate for the one time this training camp and preseason. So we'll see where it goes, because there wasn't a whole lot of talk as to why all of a sudden he decided to, participate.
I like that he was actually being a good sport about it. I did imply with Jill last night that you would kill a man for just $12,000, just so you know. By missing training camp and preseason games, he could be fined $3 million, but the team has the ability to rescind that penalty. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy said Monday that Lamb's return will boost the morale of his team, not only with what he brings to the table, which is usually those little sausages in the crock pot. We've been talking about what he does with his production, but when he brings smiles and he walks in the locker room, everybody's going to be fired up because it's fucking CeeDee Lamb, and he's got that kind of juice. He brings that type of energy out of our locker room. Cowboys have 3 practices this week at the Star, but will work Lamb into action smartly after he was not at training camp. Lamb continued to work it out on his own, but the club wants to reduce the risk of any type of injury leading into the September 8th opener against the Cleveland Browns, which who the hell decided we were going to open against the Browns? I mean, aren't you trying to generate excitement?
Well, so we
why would you play America's team versus Soviet Russia's team? I don't get it. It's not even modern Russia's team. It's Soviet Russia's team.
Well, we talked about, a couple episodes ago about locker room morale. And when you have star players that are holding out or not getting paid, it brings the locker room down. So no doubt it's going to increase, boost everybody's, their mood and everything else, because now they finally inked a deal. But it shouldn't be a shock to anybody that when you have with the Cowboys having at the time 3 major key pieces not signed. I mean, you're going to have that humdrum, like what the fuck's happening? When are we going to get something done?
Yeah, I get it. There's a little disconfidence in the captain of the ship. I can understand that.
But this is, as soon as I saw that article, I was like, oh, John will be happy.
I was happy. Right? That's what I'm supposed to feel, right?
You should.
Do you understand that I've never been this down about an NFL season ever? So you say I'm supposed to feel good, and I believe you, but
it's just not. It's not translating.
It's not. It hadn't. It just when I heard that he got signed, I'm like, well, that's one thing that we needed to do, and we got it done out of the way. And it just, I don't know. I didn't know how I was supposed to respond. Everyone was happy for him, and I felt like I was wrong for not really caring. But it's like, if he held out, I didn't think it would matter, because it's like, what is that? What is that going to do for us? I don't know.
No, and I do see that point though. I see where you're coming from, but I figured
I don't know. I just feel like the business part of it really didn't surprise me. I just wanted to update everyone. This is as of 52 minutes ago. 49ers and Brandon Ayuk are no closer to an extension or trade. And by the way, Trent Williams is not playing around. I don't even know what that means, but I'm guessing it's some other guy, and he's not happy. So
our quintessential weekly Ayuk watch.
The quintessential, just bringing everyone up to date. Also wanted to talk this about the Cowboys since we're talking about getting deals done and what it means from a business standpoint and why, I'm not necessarily happy. Trey Lance, for the love of God, went out there through 5 interceptions. Now, I also want to talk about this through the lens of social media, because this is kind of how I have been keeping up with the Cowboys on a season where I'm not super happy. But I got the old Instagram open at work because I just do that a lot when I'm bored. And I keep seeing these updates from the Cowboys where they show these great clips of our defense, like picking off the Chargers, whichever team it was. Doing a great job. They keep showing all these great interceptions. I'm loving it. Particularly after Dan Quinn has left the team, and we got Mike Zimmer now, and like he's back, and is he going to be tainted by that Vikings bullshit? Are we going to have a good defense? Because I really enjoy watching defense, but I'm seeing these great defensive plays. And then they show this one play where Trey Lance runs it in for a touchdown. And then I remember running's not what quarterbacks are supposed to do. They're supposed to throw. And you know what the Cowboys didn't show? 5 fucking interceptions. He threw 5 picks. You realize in an NFL game, if you're Trey Lance especially, I mean, you can be other players. If you throw 5 interceptions, you're benched. You're getting fucking benched, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that's all ESPN will talk about for a full week. Now, I get it that it's preseason, and I get it that you're like competing for backup, I guess, with Cooper Rush, who I'm saying Cooper Rush at this point. Cooper Rush has actually never let me down. I've seen Cooper Rush play in real life. I think he's great. Yep. But holy fuck, 5, like we traded from the 49ers to get this Trey Lance guy to put this fake pressure on Dak Prescott. Right now, Dak Prescott watched that game and those 5 interceptions, and he's just like putting his feet up, and he's like, bring me a hot dog. Like he's got to feel great, right? Like he knows he's going to get paid now, because Trey Lance represented basically business leverage, where they're like, Trey Lance is probably the future of this team. So when does the Trey Lance era begin? And as of this last game against the Chargers, it does not begin now. Holy fuck. He needs to go back to quarterback school. Like maybe he needs LASIK, like Jameis Winston or something. I don't know.
I saw that one. I was like, all right, so John will be happy about CeeDee Lamb, and then I'm going to just dash his dreams because
I would say they'll probably keep Trey Lance in the role that he was last year, which is the emergency quarterback who literally can't be activated unless both quarterbacks go down. So, he won't count against the 53-man roster. He won't get cut, but you're praying that you never have to see this guy actually ever go out there, because he's just going to be another running back. He's going to be like what happened to the 49ers in the Super Bowl when they had no quarterbacks left, and you literally just have Christian McCaffrey out there taking snaps and trying to do something anyway with it. And it's good that he can run. I mean, that's good that he can, physically do that. But he's like all those running quarterbacks throughout history. Like even Dak Prescott, really known as a bit of a runner. And what happened to him? Gruesome injury. So at some point, if we ever have to rely on Trey Lance, and Trey Lance has to rely on his legs, he's going to be in a wheelchair. So like that's kind of our options for getting away from that. So please trade Lance now. This from Fox News, Trey Lance, number 3 pick of the 2021 draft. He was literally picked number 3. There was about 5 interceptions in a preseason game. You got to start for the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday. It's safe to say it was uneven. How can you say it was uneven? It's totally one-sided if you're throwing 5 interceptions. How many touchdowns did he throw? 0. Case in point, he ran for 1. Number 3 pick, threw for 323 yards. That's a lot of yards on 67.3% passing, but also threw 5 interceptions. He was their leading rusher. Not good. Gaining 90 yards on 11 carries, which was 1 touchdown on a 46-yard run. Well, that's got to be cool to see him run 46 yards for a touchdown. But I don't think that saves him. I think that just makes it look like he should be playing at a different position. His first pick came in the second quarter at midfield during his team's first drive of the third quarter. Lance marched his team to the red zone, but threw a second pick of the game going for a touchdown. After Dallas scored on his next 2 drives, which were probably field goals, each of Lance's final 3 drives ended in an interception, including a pick 6. Oh.
Oh, guys, I have a syndrome now. Anyway, all three of those picks came within the last 4 minutes of the game, with the Cowboys' final one coming up last play of the game. You just had to get one more in before the game ended. Cowboys were at the Chargers' 20-yard line going for the tie. Couldn't even get the tie. Good job. So good job to the Chargers for suitably humiliating this man. There's a picture of Dak Prescott hugging him and sort of laughing because he knows that the failed ambitions of Trey Lance will pay directly will add a zero to his bank account. So that's good.
Well, fun fact, the most interceptions thrown in a game is held by Jim Hardy of the Chicago Cardinals. Holds the record for most interceptions thrown in a game with 8 picks against the Philadelphia Eagles in 1950.
You know what's amazing about that? I think that was in the era where if you threw a forward pass and it was incomplete, it was a turnover. That actually used to be the rules because they were like, yeah, forward passing is chicken shit. You don't do this in football. You're supposed to run in football. But then they're like, we'll have a forward pass, and they're like, yeah, well, we don't want to encourage this on every play. Let's make it so that it's a turnover if it's not caught.
Well, Lance was only 3 away from tying and having a record.
Tying a record that has existed for 70 years and a team that has moved 4 times since then. So very good. That says a lot. Did you want to talk about Ohio State? I kind of had them lower on the list, but they're kind of your thing, and they're playing this weekend. So
yeah, it's kind of a. I mean, their first game's always a bullshit game, but I'm excited. I mean,
who are they playing?
Akron.
Oh yeah, those fuckers are down in Akron. It's like a poor man's Cleveland. Ohio State went all in this offseason, motivated by Michigan. Columbus, 2 days after the Michigan Wolverines paraded through Ann Arbor once again for the national championship trophy in January. Ross Bjork met Ohio State coach Ryan Day for the first time. Bjork was in Columbus finalizing a deal to become Ohio State's next athletic director. There and then, Day revealed the plan to ultimately produce over one of the most prolific off seasons in college football history. Since taking over as Ohio State's head coach 5 years ago, Day has had a sensational record of 53-8. I'm going to be honest with you, Keith. That's a good record. That's among active FBS coaches. Only Georgia's Kirby Smart owns a better winning record percentage during that span. But for the Buckeyes, that hasn't been nearly enough. Day has yet to win a national championship. Far worse, he suffered 3 straight defeats to that team up north, something that hasn't happened this millennium. Stinging further, rival Michigan rolled to its first national title in 26 years. Only a week after maize and blue confetti showered the celebrating Wolverines inside Houston's Energy Stadium, Day showed Bjork exactly how he planned to rebound. It's a basic Statue of Liberty play. Newt Rockne called it the forward pass. And we only have 2 seconds left on this play, so it's important we start as soon as possible.
He's gonna have to do something, though. He's gonna have to beat Michigan this year. If he doesn't beat Michigan this year, then he's probably gone.
Yeah, he'll probably be kicking for the New York Jets or something. I was really just struck by his intensity, his thoroughness at this time. You could get excited about Buckeyes football this year, Bjork said. No one's been happy with the last couple of seasons and how they've ended. There's a reset button here that had to take place. Coach Day was at the forefront of activating all that. He had a methodical, intense, and intentional plan. To hear it directly from Ryan, I thought it was really exciting and encouraging. Day's vision became a reality, buoyed by the name, image, and likeness war chest this year of $20 million. According to Bjork, the Buckeyes struck gold in the transfer portal, landing 2 of the SEC's top players in safety Caleb Downs and running back Quinshon Judkins. Please tell me I pronounced that one correctly.
You did.
See, if it's football, I can pronounce it. If it's baseball, I'm totally fucked. I don't know why. I think it's a mental block, Keith.
Well, that one sounds like one of those Key and Peele skits.
Yes. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, which is a real guy. Ohio State signed another star later in recruiting class, including the country's most hyped freshman wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith. How can you be a hyped freshman? I don't get how the fuck you could be 18 and be hyped. I was not hyped at age 18. Were you, Keith?
I definitely was not.
Were you hyped?
I was not hyped at all.
No one gave a fuck. I was alive. My parents didn't even love me. Several key players from last year's team, including preseason All-American wideout Emeka Egbuka, guys. That was my best attempt. Also
That
put
was
off the
actually pretty
NFL to
close.
come back for a final season. David convinced sitting Power 5 head coach Chip Kelly to bolt UCLA and become his offensive play caller. Chip Kelly has fallen far, in this man's opinion. I guess you could argue that college football maybe isn't even comparable. It doesn't really have second status to NFL, does it? I mean, we would say it doesn't, right?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think it does. There's
It's just like going from Walmart to Target. You're just playing. I don't know.
your analogies are perfect. They're spot on.
Thank you. One NFL scout called this the most talented team he has ever evaluated at Ohio State. He pocketed a large wad of cash after he was paid to hype up the season so that people will buy merch and tickets and be excited about Buckeyes football. With more depth this year than the 2021 national champion Georgia team that set the draft record with 15 players selected in 22. Pound for pound, player for player, the scout said, there's as many good players as any college football team that I can remember. All right, man. Are you excited for Buckeyes football? Are you? I mean, I know that you're not excited about playing Akron this week, but I mean,
No, I am. Some of the moves that they made, and I think Chip Kelly coming in and doing the play calling, I think is going to be huge. It's the biggest thing. We have to beat Michigan. Period.
Would you be okay with a season where the only game you won was against Michigan?
Yes, I would. Absolutely. That's the only game that matters.
My team, where I went to college, I usually go to their games, and weirdly, we play a lot of teams that have the Beavers as their mascot. I guess because I live up north, so like most of the teams are named the Beavers. And what do you say about that? I don't even know. But so we're spending like the first 4 months just playing Beavers teams, and then we're up against our rival kind of late in the year, and I'm just like, the only game I'm going to go to this year is that game, because our team was terrible last year for the first time in forever. Our college football team has actually won national championships, and seeing them being awful last year broke my heart. When we're off the air, I'm going to tell you who one of our former coaches was, and that will actually shock you. But because he's doing great things in college football elsewhere now. Yeah, I'm probably just going to go to that one game and pray that we win that one game. And if we don't, I'm going to be sad. So I totally get what you mean, that there's like one rival game that's pretty much your Super Bowl every year.
Exactly.
You don't always have a postseason to look forward to, but you care about this one game. So I get that.
And the rivalry that's, between Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes, back in the day. I mean, it's a storied rivalry. And, yes, do I want them to win a national championship? Hell yeah, I do. But you have to beat the team up north first.
Yeah. Speaking of things we remember, not only the Wolverines' victory, but Bud Light. They want you to forget that Dylan Mulvaney ever did pitches for them. Bud Light's been on the rebound. For some reason, conservatives finally had an effective boycott of a brand to show our distaste for the agenda that was being insidiously pushed on us. And now we've been drawing back on that, because conservatives always just forgive, and we just enjoy our Starbucks and we enjoy our Bud Light. But Bud Light wants you to forget that they had this whole travesty with Dylan Mulvaney telling you that it was, fine beer to have a girls' night out. Bud Light is celebrating the return of football season by rolling out its biggest collection of college team packaging yet. Anheuser-Busch announced Tuesday. The collection represents 26 teams across the country and displays official team colors and prominent team logos. According to the news release, the cans are available now everywhere Bud Light is sold, the company said. So the thing is, like, 26 teams, like, if you want to get a Hawkeyes can of Bud Light, or a Razorbacks can, or a Cyclones can, what if you don't live close to these places? Is it, do you have to live in Florida to get a Gators can, or do you have to live in Oklahoma or Texas to get a Sooners can? I don't know.
I'm sure it's in marketing regions, but also the fact that not all college stadiums sell alcohol.
Yeah, that's interesting too. But let's face it, Bud Light's really just selling for the people at home who are watching, and they need to put something out. They need to put something on there that you can identify with and like, even if it's not your team. Like, I would rather drink out of a can that has a Longhorn on it than fucking Dylan Mulvaney's face, So, and I know that Dylan Mulvaney was never put on the cans, but it was sort of inextricably linked. But
Michael Hendricks said Bud Light's actually great if you like deep throating the bottle.
Well, I don't like doing that.
I don't. That's why
I don't like basic bitch beer, to be honest with you. Keith, do you even like Bud Light?
I don't.
What's your beer of choice?
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite.
I'm a Miller Lite guy. If before all this BS with Bud Light, hit the media and all the news, but I would drink it like if it was the only thing there. To me, it tastes like apple juice. It's too sweet. I don't like it.
Yeah. What do you want beer to taste like? Bread?
Yeast.
Yeast. Okay.
I want it to taste like Miller Lite. I want it to taste like Miller Lite. That's what I want it to taste like.
Okay, sorry. Are you a big hops guy though? Do you like drinking other beers, IPAs, things like that?
I don't like IPAs. If I go to a craft brewery, I usually start with their lightest, but I'll work my way in to some dark beers. But typically, I'm a lager, Pilsner lager guy.
That's why I liked you. All right. Racist fireman gets caught on racist diatribe in the news. This from CBS. Man in viral video delivering racist diatribe after a crash identified as a Northern California firefighter. Keith, I know that you're anti-racist. You have to be. But he's allowed to have an opinion, right? Like, why are we doxing him as a firefighter just because he had like a kind of a ugly opinion? He should be allowed to have an ugly opinion, right? Or
well,
no? What do you think?
No, I agree. He should be able to have an opinion, but as well as I do, somebody gets picked up for a DUI and they're a police officer. That's the first thing. Same thing. I mean, something that is, against the grain, they have to throw in that he was a public servant.
That's too bad.
It happens.
This is from CBS News in the East Bay. A man seen in a viral video berating a driver with racist language following a crash in California's Central Valley has been identified as a firefighter with the Alameda County Fire Department, which has placed a firefighter on leave. The thing is, if he wasn't representing his agency, I mean, this is a question for all of us, though, because we're always representing our agencies, right? I mean, that's just the truth, right?
Oh, and you always hear the term "you're held to a higher standard."
I have had citizens call in and complain about the way firefighters drive, because in my state, the volunteers have special firefighters plates.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll complain about how these guys, we hold our firefighters to a higher standard. I'm like, they literally don't get paid, and you're going to hold them to a higher standard? I'm holding you to a higher standard. Maybe you should sign up to be a volunteer firefighter. And then I get hauled into the office for saying this to people.
For saying such things. I've never agreed with that. Everybody should be held to a high standard, period. Everybody should. So the fact that, whether it's a dispatcher, a police officer, a fireman, paramedic, whatever, the fact that we're held to a higher standard, I don't understand it completely. We should all, as human race, be held to a high standard.
I just feel like, I feel like maybe if his conduct of yelling and screaming was something you wanted to take issue with, I get that, like, he threw in the kicker there, the racist epithets or whatever, but
I want more context. I want to know.
All right, I'll read it to you. All right. The crash happened on Friday morning on Highway 99 between Armstrong Road and Harney Lane in Lodi. Driver who shot the video told CBS News Sacramento. The video shot from inside the Vath Touch car shows Vath Touch. That's the guy's name. Vath. It sounds like a Star Wars character. Vath Touch's car shows another man approaching Touch's driver's side window to argue about who was at fault. During the argument, Touch says the man, "The cops are coming." To which the man replies, "Oh, the cops are definitely coming, dumbass Mexican," or whatever the fuck you are, Filipino. That doesn't sound that Mexican. Excuse me. That doesn't sound that racist to me. I mean, he's being rude. He's calling him a Mexican or a Filipino or whatever. Like, calling someone by what their race or nationality isn't polite or cool. But it's not, I don't know. This is the man later tells Touch, "I hope you have insurance. I doubt that you do. You're probably going to work some lawn job." Yeah, that's a put down.
That's a little rough.
And Touch says, "Don't be racist, bro. Don't be racist." The man responded back saying, "I'm not fucking racist. I'm a fucking firefighter." Okay.
All right. So that you drop that card right then.
And don't tell people what you are. Not only that, but like, being a firefighter doesn't mean you're cool, which I have said all along, Keith.
I know.
It also doesn't bail you out of racial epithets or being hostile towards people. It also doesn't make you special or in command of the situation, and it doesn't make your opinion any more valid. while pointing out to a Stockton Fire Department logo on a shirt. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm no longer on his side.
Nope, me neither.
The man also tells Touch to go back to your $10 an hour job, bitch. Okay. I was ready to keep an open mind. I'm like, some people, we have the First Amendment in this country, and we only need the First Amendment to cover ugly speech, right? Like people being nice and friendly to each other really doesn't need First Amendment protection. It's only the ugly things that need protection from the government. So the First Amendment, it solely exists to protect the things that we find offensive and objectionable. And I like to think that people are allowed to have their own opinions and their own thoughts, however ugly. It's their freedom to be stupid. It's their freedom to be ignorant. It's their freedom to it's their freedom to be hateful. But when you act this way, when you're like, you don't have insurance and go back to your $10 an hour job, which by the way, has got to be below minimum wage in California. So it's not even well informed. That's terrible. As the argument continues, the man gets closer to Touch's face. Touch tells him, "Don't spit on me," to which the man replies, I'll spit on you all fucking day. Oh my gosh. As Touch holds up his hands in front of him, the man slaps Touch's hand saying, "Get your hand out of my fucking face." Holy moly. That's assault.
This guy's a chotch.
I don't even know what that means, but it could be racist since we know about firemen now. Fire departments respond to viral video. On Sunday evening, after the video went viral, Stockton Firefighters Union social media account posted a statement saying, "Just to be clear, this is not a Stockton, California firefighter. We don't know who this is, but he absolutely is not one of our people." Later that evening, the Alameda County Fire Department acknowledged the video involved one of our members in verbal altercation with a community member, and they've got their official press release here. It's come to our attention the similar language used during this interaction that does not align with the values and standards we hold as an organization, which I think that they were okay to say. Mm-hmm. Alameda County Fire Chief William McDonald released a statement saying, "Our department is committed to gathering all the facts, and we pray to God that something else happens and so that everyone else will move on and forget about this. We are addressing the situation in a manner that reflects our dedication to integrity, professionalism, and community trust. Our goal is to ensure that we continue to serve our community with the highest level of respect, both on and off duty." Sacramento visited the Rockland home, which is believed to belong to the firefighter. Nice of them to drop in at his house. I'm sure he came out and explained himself. "Man, I've just been stressed out lately. I've seen too many oven-baked children. It has been bothering me." He declined the invitation for the interview, but did not deny to be the man in the video. "I'm very sorry. That's not me. I had a bad day. It doesn't represent my family." Because he knows that his life is over. At a news conference Monday morning, said the unidentified firefighter in question was off duty at the time of the incident, was placed on administrative leave. Also, the investigation would involve a critical look at the fire department's training, guidance, and organizational culture.
Does it say whether it's paid or unpaid?
It doesn't say. No. Here's the thing. A fire department or police department is going to be made up of human beings, some of whom are going to be better than others. And I don't think, unfortunately, we live in a society where people are going to say, "Oh, this is what our firefighters are." I don't think that's fair. I just think there's always bad employees everywhere. You go to McDonald's and you get treated bad there. Does that say, that's just one fucking asshole who works at McDonald's? You don't think that necessarily McDonald's is all bad, because you'll go back to McDonald's. And if you live in Alameda County, you don't have your choice of firefighters. So if your house is on fire, you dial 911. You get the main one, and mutual aid if it's really bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I wanted more context. And yeah, this guy's an idiot. He does not represent all of us, just for the record, John.
No, I know. Well, I know that. There's not an ounce of hate inside of you at all. I was ready to kind of go to bat for this guy as maybe just a loathsome idiot, who maybe stepped in it, but he behaved truly reprehensibly. And there's not much I could say to back him up. Oakland firefighters, also in the Bay, used the jaws of life during a call. They put the tool down briefly, and it was stolen. This from the LA Times. In the middle of a rescue call last week, someone stole the jaws of life from Oakland firefighters, authorities said.
That's hysterical.
I hope they had the serial number on it, because I could enter it into NCIC as a stolen article. Firefighters had brought up, what do you do? Do you watch the pawn shops? How do you try to get that back?
Right.
Don't you have to hook it up to an industrial grade, pneumatic compressor?
It's hydraulic.
See, so unless you have a hydraulic compressor, the jaws aren't going to do much for you, right?
And depending on whether they're newer models or not, we have battery operated ones that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Battery-operated Jaws of Life?
Yep.
Boy, I bet that thing's got to recharge for a long time, longer than a car. Anyway, so someone in the middle of a rescue call last week, someone stole the Jaws of Life from Oakland firefighters, that town. Firefighters had brought out the tool during the call. After they used it, firefighters officials discovered the equipment had been taken, according to the spokesperson with the Oakland Police Department. Used by emergency personnel after serious car crashes, the hydraulic tool, see, I wish I'd read ahead, pries open or cuts through wreckage to rescue someone inside. Jaws of Life tools can be operated by a single individual and roughly weigh around 50 pounds. Oakland police spokesperson said their tool was taken about 7:15 p.m. and Friday at the 1600 block of West Street. Police released no information about suspects. A spokesperson for Oakland Fire Department said the agency was working with the police to recover the tool. Anyone with information is asked to cover or contact Oakland PD, the Criminal Investigations Division. Could you imagine how bad that firefighter must feel? Like, where's the Jaws? Oh, I set it around here somewhere.
Right, he's looking around. And that's what we call a Dear Chief letter.
Oh yeah,
Dear Chief, the funniest thing happened on this call.
You know, that's all the more reason why it should just be on a carabiner and like be on their belt. 50-pound tool. Oh man, this is we'll go to the thing that you sent me this week.
Okay, real quick. A lot of the New York fire engines have like hasps on the outside of their compartments. So depending on what neighborhood, like they actually have padlocks. So when they're parked outside, whether they're on an EMS run or whatever, that way somebody can't just open it up and take it, because apparently it was a problem. To where
that's terrible.
Now putting lock hasps on.
Who the hell would rip off and why are people getting allowed? Why are they allowed so close to a fire engine or an accident scene that a firefighter could put something down and they'll fucking take it?
Right.
And where are these other firefighters? Everyone just standing around looking. There's one guy using the Jaws of Life, and you're not going to tell me there's not 5 other firefighters standing around not doing anything.
Oh, and see, I blame the cops. I blame the cops now.
Oh, of course you do.
Because
they're supposed to prevent crime.
They didn't set up a good perimeter.
There you go. That's actually a really good point.
Yes, I got one.
You get points all the time. Have you ever used the Jaws of Life before, Keith?
I have multiple times, many times.
You ever used it for like opening a beer or like a can of soup or something you're not supposed to use it for?
No, but we train picking up eggs with it.
Did you know that you can probably just use your hands to open up an egg?
Yeah, it's just to get a little bit better dexterity with.
Oh, okay. No, I just thought.
Yeah, that's how we cook breakfast.
I just thought like, oh my gosh, how do you get into there? How do you get the eggs out?
And we have cribbing on the truck that, sections of 4x4 lumber that we use for cribbing up vehicles or stabilizing. And we'll set those up in a giant Jenga, and we will use the jaws, the spreaders, to play Jenga.
I don't really know what that means, but that's cool. But I know that if you do need the jaws to open up an egg, you have boiled it too hard. This is the case that you sent me about Rutgers and UMass women's soccer match.
I'm not a soccer fan, typically.
Who is?
But when girls are fighting on the field, I'm watching it all day.
I was lucky. I grew up in and I went to a bad high school. And bitches be fighting each other in the hallway. Cat fights, fake nails flying everywhere, hair weaves getting ripped off.
Like how you said bitches be fighting.
Well, they were. Were fighting. They were. And I got to see these things. It was pretty cool. Punches thrown in an ugly brawl led to red cards, which means that you're bad. And Rutgers UMass women's soccer match. Seniors Gia Gehrman of Rutgers and Ashley Lamond of UMass were sent off in the second half. This from Fox News. A brawl broke out during a women's college soccer game between Rutgers, which, by the way, is the University of New Jersey. Everyone hates New Jersey, so that's why they call themselves Rutgers. I don't know if you knew that, Keith.
I did. My cousin went to Rutgers.
Oh, I'm sorry. UMass on Sunday said that multiple punches thrown after a whistle had blown for a foul. Rutgers senior Gia Gehrman and UMass senior Ashley Lamond were two parties involved in the fight where teammates had to ultimately step in to stop punches from being thrown in the pitch in Amherst. The altercation began when Gehrman committed a foul from behind on a different UMass player in the 55th minute of the match when both players hit the turf. Lamont came over, picked up the ball, which was at Gehrman's feet, and the Scarlet Knights player clearly took exception to that. They started to push and shove each other until Gehrman threw the first punch. Then things finally turned ugly as her hair was pulled and Lamont was seen wrestling her into the ground.
Do you have the video?
I do. Should I try it? Should I attempt to play it?
I think you should.
All
Only
right.
because you being a correction officer in your past have probably seen something like this happen on a yard, because that's exactly what it reminds me of.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't exactly. I didn't supervise women, I guess is what you would say. Let me see if I can increase the size of this at all. Is this any better?
Go back a little bit.
Go back. Sorry, I have to constantly navigate back and forth. Sorry to our podcast listeners who absolutely don't give a shit. All right, I'm going to try to play this. Here we go.
It's almost like she knew she was getting ready to fight.
Everything's fine so far. Look, no one's there. No one gives a fuck. Oh, yes. Yes. Fight. 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 Oh, fuck yeah. That was awesome. I love that. That was truly great. Do you mind if you don't mind?
I don't.
So they're running down the field and some soccer shit happens. And then the girls are just fighting.
They're like on the ground rolling.
Yeah, they cut away right away. Stupid ESPN. I have to say I don't really care for that. The fact that they just cut away from the fight. That's the stuff you should be showing.
Yes.
It's the only thing that would make
it grab my attention. I would normally never look at a soccer article.
Well, I appreciate you sending that over to me. I think I only had one thing left. Billionaires have decided to give themselves raises. Can you really blame them with the price of milk these days? This from Yahoo Sports, the pinnacle of sports reporting. NFL owners privately allow a new rule change that allows private equity investment with reportedly $12 billion already committed. NFL owners have officially approved another way for them to receive money for themselves. The league's owners voted in favor of a rule change allowing private equity firms to buy a stake of up to 10% of a team. This per Sportico, unlocking billions and billions of committed potential investment dollars. The NFL is a late arrival for the changes. The NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS, and NWSL have already made the jump. 31 of 32 teams reportedly voted in favor of the change, with the holdout being Mike Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's actually shocking. That shocks me.
Do you like Mike Brown?
No, I don't. He's a very frugal, cheap owner, but his daughter and family are actually kind of running the team now. But that shocks me that he did not vote in favor of that to bring more money in.
Maybe he just didn't want to be owned by other people.
That makes complete sense. But yeah, shocker, the Bengals were the holdout.
Yeah. Jerry Jones released a statement this week about how there's literally no one else that could be a better manager for the Cowboys, and I'm like,
I literally just saw that on the ticker.
No one could do a better fucking job than me. I'm like, what is your job? Is it to win the Super Bowl? Because you haven't done that in 30 years. Like, literally, you made the Herschel Walker deal back in like 1988, and it allowed you all this draft capital so you could get Troy Aikman, first overall, which you had because you had a terrible season the year before. Lucky you. Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. You basically had the just perfect storm of the right talent coming to your team in the right moment. You turned that into a dynasty because you had those players there. Jimmy Johnson didn't hurt. He was a great coach as well. Great move. But since then, fuck, Jerry. Like, you got lucky one time, you made one good deal and it worked out well for you in the 90s, but ever since then, dude, fire yourself. And it's one of those things where I would normally say this, like when people want to get rid of Dak Prescott or when they want to get Tony Romo, I would say, well, who's the next man up? Do you really have someone better? You don't. You need to keep playing Tony Romo. You need to keep playing Dak Prescott. I've always kind of been a supporter of the status quo because I realize that even though it's not perfect, I don't get caught up into this grass is greener fallacy of thinking, oh, well, we should just, get rid of him and get someone else. Because particularly in quarterbacks, like there's not that many like elite quarterbacks. Jerry Jones had 30 fucking years. You get 30 seasons at one position and you suck, you get cut. 30 years is the cutoff for me. 30 years is enough. That's enough. And I realize we're only at like year 28 or something, but I'm willing to call it early because I've seen some bad fucking stuff. And you know what? He's not a bad owner. Like, he can draft well. Obviously, we've had lots of talent. We've wasted the talent of more people than any other team I can think of. We've had so many talented people. To think that Jason Witten's career never amounted to anything. A good job, Jerry Jones. That was a true feat that you pulled off. But it's time for him to go, and he's 81, and he's like trying to say like, yeah, I'm going to be doing this for a while, and he appears to be in good shape. Whenever I see him on TV, he looks physically fit. He looks well. He looks energetic.
He looks like Yoda.
You say that every time.
I know.
He's 81. How is he supposed to look?
Not like Yoda.
I don't even know what Mike Brown looks like. You know why? Because it's not important. No one ever puts him on TV. I'm going to figure out what Mike Brown looks like. Anyway, so the specific arrangements of this included a minimum stake of 3% of the private equity firm, which funds which allow to invest in a maximum of 6 teams each, and minimum. You don't care about the deal, the specifics of the deal. But why did I even bring this up? Well, first of all, it's important to mention that the billionaires of the NFL have given themselves a new way to have money. But I wanted to mention this in light of the lawsuit that they lost. We talked about how all the doomsayers are saying, well, this is really, really bad for the NFL. Oh no, what's the NFL going to do? Well, they could just make a decision in which imports them $12 billion. So I don't think that they really give the rat's ass about that lawsuit that they lost about NFL Sunday Ticket. They're not going to end up paying as much as that. They're going to remediate that. They're going to drag their heels, drag their feet, find a way to pay each of the people who are getting paid in that lawsuit. They're all going to get paid less than $2,000. Big fucking deal. And with a flip of a switch, they could just give themselves to $12 billion. So it's fine. I don't mind that. I think the NFL makes sense to invest in because it's definitely just getting bigger. It's definitely never going away. Should we address some of our chats? We have a whole bunch of chats. I haven't been keeping up this entire time, which makes me not like a good podcast host because some people have been saying things.
People have been saying things.
Jill says Cowboys need to channel the 1980 Olympic hockey team. Do you believe in miracles? We don't have to believe in miracles because we've done it 5 times. How many times have the Cincinnati Bengals won?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, right. Everyone's mad now. It's on a low note. Okay. I missed a lot of good comments here today. I can't go back and read all these because there's great comments. Everyone's, when we're talking about beer and all this stuff. I wanted to thank Tyler and Michael and all these guys in the chats. I guess it's really just these 2, which is enough for me because I missed all your comments. So I'm sorry about that. I should have been more diligent. The 911 dispatcher did specify where to place the jaws of life. I don't tell them what to do. Tyler, I'm sorry. We don't have any stuff for Canadian football, which probably already kicked off. Their season's probably already started.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Who are you going for this year? Who do you think is going to win the Grey Cup?
Oh, I have no clue, dude.
Name as many CFL teams as you possibly can right now.
The Alouettes. Is that one of them?
Montreal Alouettes.
All right, that's all I got.
And I'm going to see if I can name the rest. Because there's 8. So this is our challenge. The Ottawa Redblacks, the Edmonton Elks, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, hold on, I'm thinking. That's the sound of thinking.
Channel it.
The Toronto Blue Jays. Tried.
Yeah, you did way better than I did. Maybe I should start following Canadian football more.
Ottawa Redblacks. I already said that one. Oh, the Rough Riders.
Oh, I have heard of them. Where are they from?
Also from Edmonton. No. Well, I'll try to name 8 Canadian cities.
Surely Vancouver's got one.
Vancouver. Yeah. BC Lions. British Columbia Lions. I think that would be the team for Vancouver.
Okay. Yeah, I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. I thought this would be a chance for me to shine because normally I care about Canadian football, but I'm just blanking on it today. That's all right. We're overtime anyway. pun intended. Keith, when's the next episode of One More and I'm Out of Here? It's,
you got Argonauts. You didn't have Argonauts.
Oh, the Toronto Argonauts. Yeah.
Blast it.
Sorry to the Argonauts fans.
Our next One More and I'm Out of Here is actually this evening at 5 p.m. Eastern.
So last night.
So we did last night.
You know, I'm not going to be able to get you a thumbnail by 5.
That's all right. I texted you this morning, but I also never
I was asleep, and now I'm on the show. When am I supposed to do thumbnails?
I don't hold you to it. You offer a great service, but if you can't do it all the time, I understand that because you have other shit to do.
Do you mind if I send you a thumbnail and then you could just change it later, and that way you could, the people who are watching after the fact might be attracted to it by thumbnail. I mean, you could just change the thumbnail. You know how to go in there and do that, right?
Yep. Yes, I do.
So I'll send you a thumbnail after the fact, and you can change it. And that way, your late viewership will still see it. It'll increase your click-through rate.
I like it. We also potentially have one Friday. I'm not sure what time yet. I'm working on that. We're going to have Congressman Brad Wenstrup potentially. He was the chair of the committee that questioned Fauci in that hearing, but he's also a congressman in Ohio. So we've had him on our show before, but hopefully I was actually just talking with one of his handlers before we went on this show. So potentially Friday tonight and then Friday.
I want to go ahead and just mention that even though Friday is my day off, I don't think I should be on a show with a congressman.
Oh, I totally think you should.
I think it's a terrible idea.
I think it's the greatest idea.
Do you realize how I'm going to come at him, right?
Do it.
When are all you chumps going to get serious about term limits and save this country? Because it's only by subverting your own ambition that you're actually going to save any American from anything.
I think you should do it.
It's kind of cheap of me to from whatever state I'm at to be going after some Ohio congressman. It's none of my business, right? I'm not his constituent. He doesn't owe me anything. You can tell him to fuck right off.
And he might.
And he might. And I'd respect him for it. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, Congressman. I don't like your answer, but goddamn, do I respect it. Good for you.
So,
all right.
Those are the happenings.
So there's lots of One More and I'm Out of Here all the time, everywhere, all the time. We appreciate them. Hopefully Rob getting back on his feet. And hopefully Antoinette Pepperoni will be on the show again soon. I missed him the other day.
He'll be on tonight.
So my best to that guy. Good show. It was a good show last night as well. I thought it was funny. I don't know. Who was that guy who was hosting last night?
It's my buddy Rich. He's part of the Engraved.
Oh, right. Yeah. Rich is the guy that's like an investor in your podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought he was funny and hilarious, and I hope that he liked me.
No, he loves you, John. He actually told me that.
He's aware I exist.
He actually.
Brad Wenstrup is a national treasure and a hero. He's the one who saved Steve Scalise at the congressional softball game. I like to think that I'm a national hero. But I've never saved anyone important, so I've only just saved regular people, regular chumps like old me. All right, guys, my apologies to both Kiefer and Jill for certain scurrilous statements that I made on a recent episode of Comp Center. I want you both to know that I love you, and I would never intentionally inflict pain into your lives. I recognize that I have that power, but I would never do that, so I apologize to both of you. I sincerely like and enjoy both of you very much. You are my good friends. So never want any bad blood. Just clearing it right there on the air at the end of the show and nobody's listening. We'll be catching you back here next week for another episode of Illegal Shift. Thank you for listening. Eric will have a show tomorrow, I guess, probably. Or Friday, I mean. And we'll catch you back here next week. And we love you all. Goodbye, Keith. I love you, man.
I love you, John. And guns up.
Guns up, giddy up. Good night, America. We'll talk to you later, old friends. Time to saunter on the old dusty trail. Really makes you think. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.